Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza Creates. Thank you for joining me today and welcome to all my new subscribers. I've had quite a lot of new subscribers thanks to the Rach and Bella Crafts Christmas Craft Off 2023 collaboration. So I thought today I'd do a beginners video. I started a beginners series a while back and I haven't continued with it. So I thought we'd do journal covers. So in my collaboration I made a sort of an easy little journal, but I thought, well, we like ones with multiple signatures, and a cereal box is a really good place to start. So this is around about 2 inches wide. It is 2 inches wide. It's 5 centimeters. It is wider than I would like. So I just thought I'd show you what I do to save my cereal boxes. This is quite bulky. So usually in the kitchen, before it even makes its way to my craft room, I open it up, sort of flatten it like that, and I take the scissors out of my kitchen drawer and I just lob off, that is the technical term, the top bits and the bottom bits, and then that is just much easier to store and deal with. I bung these in the recycling and that is how it arrives in my craft room, and then it's really flat and it doesn't take up any room, and it can go where I put covers to be made. And I thought it would be a good idea to have a few covers sort of made ready, and we were discussing this at the craft retreat. What do you do first? Do you do, oh, there's a C there, thank you. Do you do the covers first, or do you make the signatures and then the covers after? And it kind of depends with me what I'm doing. I often make the cover last, so then I know I'm going to make the spine wide enough. Right, so then I look down and that's where the seam is. So I'm just going to open the seam there. Doesn't matter if you do what I do and it just ends up as a mess. Doesn't matter because we're lobbing these two bits off. Okay, so I'm going to take my big guillotine. You can use a knife and a metal ruler if you want. So we know that's flat, so first thing I want to do is neaten the edges. So I'm just gonna take a sliver off the top, and then we've got a nice flat edge at the top, and I'm gonna just measure, because now we've got a nice flat edge at the top. We want to measure how wide we want our book cover to be. Now I usually work on a standard sheet folded in half, and a UK standard sheet folded in half is it's about 5 7/8. If you're in the US it will be 5.5, won't it? So they're the only two sizes I'm aware of. I think most people use either American letter size or A4. So I want my cover to be a good sort of 1/4 inch or a bit more wider than the page. Sometimes you want tabs and things, so I think I'm going to go to 6 inches. Yeah, I think we'll go 6 inches. So I'm going to put a little mark there at 6 and a little mark down there at 6, just on the safe side. I'm going to do another mark at 6, and that should give me my straight line down there at 6. That looks pretty straight. So I'm going to bring in this. You could use craft knife and blade, craft knife and ruler. Craft knife is a blade. So now lining up those dots, I'm going to do so that is how wide I want that to be. So I'm going to do the same on here. This is still rough. We're just working on this top edge first off. So we'll do another 6. I probably should have my glasses on, to be fair. And I've just worked out it's probably easier to have my 6-inch mark right on the edge of the page to see it properly. 6, we'll go in middle. 6, don't know why I've not put my glasses on. I've even mentioned my glasses, Jez. And you haven't put them on. No, I haven't. There we go. 6 there. So let me just have a little look-see. Oh, that middle one looks right out. Does, doesn't it? We want to be there. Let me just doubly check that. That's why glasses are important, Jez. Just saying. I did tell you. Right, so I've got to feed it in that way because this bottom end isn't straight. So there we go. A bit more cumbersome. Put that on the edge. There we go. I may well need to trim a bit afterwards, but that is looking pretty good to me. So now I'm just going to measure top down. So UK A4 is 8 1/4. So I would usually go to about 8 1/2 or maybe 8 3/4. US letter size is 8 1/2, so you'd certainly want to go to 8 3/4. If not 9, I've seen people do it to 9. I can't do 9 on this, it's not quite 9. So I'm going to meet in the middle, and I'm going to go, should I go to 8 3? Yeah, I'm going to go 8 3/4. That gives me a 1/4 inch at the top and the bottom. That gives me a bit of space for tabs at the top. So I'm going to go to 8 3/4. So I'm going to do a few little marks down here on the 8 3/4. Now this is not going to fit in my journals, in my cutter, so I'm going to have to go like this. So I've got the mark there, I'm going to have to do it on this bit now, on the outside. In order to slice it, it's going to have to be folded. So an 8 3/4 there, let's do an 8 3/4 on the bottom here. There, so I can see there where I'm cutting. I can see that. I need to just move slightly that way. There we go. And that neatens up the bottom edge. We are slightly squiff there. Right, that bottom edge is nice. We have got a little bit of an overhang at this end, so no matter. We'll just trim it down, and now we're good. Now we're good. I'm liking that. I'm going to do a quick measure of both these ends. So I'm going to put my ruler right up, and there's a, it's not on the 0, but that's fine. That's on the 6. That's on just under the 6. Might be going a little bit squiff that way. It really doesn't have to be huge. Doesn't matter hugely if it's not accurate, but what I'm going to do at this stage is just check that this is straight. There might be some slight, yeah, there's a slight overhang at the bottom, so straighten that up. And then let's look at this one. Have we got any overhangs? Just slightly. So there we are. I am satisfied now that that is all lovely, straight and prepared. So that is a way of preparing a cover. Now what I would do is reinforce these bits here, and one way of reinforcing these bits here is you can use fabric. That's a good way, gluing fabric down. Well, lots of people use Tyvek. Tyvek is, it looks like paper. As I'm saying this, I'm frantically looking around, trying to remember where I put my Tyvek. I'm always losing it. I decided on a safe place for it, and I can't remember where it is. That's just typical of me. Anyway, Tyvek looks like paper. You can't rip it. They use it in construction. In the US, you get, I think it's like priority mailers that are made of Tyvek, so you get it free, or you buy it on rolls. In the UK, that doesn't happen to us. We have to buy it. You can buy it on Amazon. I buy it in A4 sheets, 10. I bought that years ago, first time I made a mini album. I haven't used it all yet. So I'm just going to go and find it. Okay, so this is weeks later because I couldn't find my Tyvek, so I had to order some more. So yeah, so I thought we'd carry on. Now I cut this to 6 inches, which is a bit short, but I think I did put a little message up on the screen to say UK, probably 6 inches is not enough, because if you take a piece of A4 like this happens to be, and you fold it in half, it's like 5 and 7/8, so it's only a wee bit shy there. So yeah, might have to trim a little bit off, but you know, never mind. Right, so I'm going to go this way so that I can get the full length of this. This is the Tyvek. I don't know if you can see there, it's like all sorts of fibres going across on it. It's quite pretty actually, I quite like it, but you can't rip it. So I'm going to cut this down to be the same length. So I'm not going to measure, I'm just going to go down, and I am going to cut it all off because it's just easier, so I'm going to go about there, So swing that out. There we are. It will slice, but it won't rip. So I've got a little bit there for something else. So now I've got those the right size. You can either do a whole strip all the way across the spine bit, or you could do it in 2 separate strips down. I'm just going to go across the whole lot. So if I put that on there, it is like 2 inches. So I'm going to go 3 inches, so it's like ½ inch each side. So there we go. So you can either put it across the inside or the outside. I mean, you're going to cover this anyway, so it really matters not, but it's just about making sure that these foldy over bits are covered. So you could have saved a bit, but not that much, not enough to worry about it. So I'm going to get my glue out. For this, I'm going to use Collall. That's the glue of my choice. Use whatever glue you want to. I would not use glue stick for this, because the whole point of this is to give it strength, and I don't think glue stick will stand the test of time, really. I mean, you're going to cover it with all sorts. I may even put fabric on the cover, in which case I probably wouldn't need to have done this, but you know, I'm just showing you what you can get. This pack was a pack of 20 A4 sheets, and I paid £5 something for it, £5.50 maybe ish. That's so it's cheap as chips. I say the first pack I ever bought isn't run out, it's just run away basically. So yeah, as that, and you can get those like when you go to festivals and you have bracelets, sometimes they're like papery, and it's made of this stuff, and you can buy those on Amazon as well. And so they're in the sort of a bracelet size, which is quite good for just going up the spine, to be fair. And then you've got no cutting, and you get about 100, so that would be 50 journals, and that's a little bit cheaper than buying the 20 sheets, but I just thought this gave me more versatility, so I went for this. Probably too much glue the way it's oozing, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. Now what I would do now is not fold that until it was completely dry. So that is the basic construction there of a cover. So now we would cover it, because obviously we don't want that on it. It's a bit shiny, but it's going to be covered, so it doesn't actually matter. The inside's plain, but I would cover front and back. And I don't often use fabric, but I have recently bought quite a lot of nice scarves with the intention of making covers with them. So I'm going to grab those and show you what I do with a piece of fabric. So here is scarf. I bought that this week. Really liked it. £1.50, and it's one of these sort of pashmina types, so that it's really wide, and it's got this really lovely pattern, which I thought very boho. That's the wrong side, that's the right side. So it is wider than I would need for a journal, and it's loads longer. I mean, let's just find the other end. So there is enough on here. I'm folding it in half, folding it in half again. So actually it could go that way, and then if we fold it in half that way, there we go. That is more than enough for a cover, and that is 1, 8. So that is potential of 8 covers out of this piece of fabric, which is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna just cut it down. All done, the pain is over. So the end of this, I said it was a pashmina, and it is. This is 100% cashmere. This was probably a lot of money. There you go. I've just cut it up. See if I care. So I have the choice between having the cover, so we've got that bit on the front, or just doing it that way where I'd get more. So I could do that bit on the front. I quite like that. So let me sort of fold it down, fold it over. That could be the front. I quite like that. And that would be the back. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we're gonna do that with this one. The alternative was to have it so that was the front, which I like as well. Get a little bit more bang for me buck cutting it that way. So what have I decided to do? If I do that, then I've actually got a little bit there. I could maybe do a mini journal using that bit and use it for other things. I am gonna, so we want an overlap. That little border's quite a good little overlap. So gonna go, that's about 1 inch and a bit. Gonna go about that way up there. Will it rip? No, of course not, Jez, because that would be useful. There we go. So just cutting up here. Did I do a sort of 1 inch that way? I did. I'm going to cut that. Can't see. Going to cut that little bit off because that's a bit thick. So we're about there. These threads might make nice tag tops, tag threads. There we go, and we're going to come down here. Let's go just a tad that way, a bit more. Having a much bigger table would work. It's a good job. Yesterday I cleared that side of my desk. It was piled high. It was literally 6 inches deep in some places. So I cleared it all off. Now I've done that. Didn't need to go that far, but hey ho. Right, come down here. There we go. So I've got all this left for someone else. So I've got that. I want to take this cornery bit off, overlap bit. Don't want that. Be too bulky. I haven't done that many fabric covers. And some of the ones I've done, I don't feel have been that successful. So, is that all the thread from under there? Oh, do you know, there's a bit of me that's thinking, that's quite nice, that little bit there. It's a bit free on that side, but it's quite a nice little bit of a dangle. I'm going to keep that because I'm not sure if I don't want to do something with it. So, where are you? I want these tassels off because although they'd probably look quite nice hanging down from the bottom of a journal, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. Just get rid, Jez. So I'm just going to go along there and lob them off. Yeah, they'll be quite nice. I think I might be able to use those. We'll see. Did you see my video where I started a slow stitch journal? Yeah, I've done no more of it. No more. The challenge is over. We're now in the process of voting for winners and prizes. And yeah, I failed. But never mind. Right, so I've got this. It's quite flimsy, this fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some interfacing on it to give it a little bit of stability. It's going to be a cover and I want it to last. So I've got this iron-on interfacing. I'm not sure if I've got a big enough bit. I made a fancy dress outfit for my son, so I had to use some of it. Oh yeah, it looks like I've got enough there. So I'm going to go and iron that on, ready for sticking it on my journal. Whilst I'm here with a pair of scissors, I'm going to cut it. So iron on interfacing, it was cheaper chips. I bought this during lockdown because I was going to make some masks and I had lots and lots of fabric. And I wanted to put some interfacing on it to give them a bit of stability and to have another layer. And yeah, I never made them. So I did other things in lockdown. I made loads of journals and I made extra videos and yeah, I was really busy during lockdown. Never left the house, but I was really busy. There we go. Well, I did leave that. I went for a little walk every day. Well, after the first month I did. So I went a bit stir crazy. So I'm going to iron that on and then we'll come back for the next bit. Okay, so that's it all ironed on. I mean, it's not perfect, but it will be enough for what we're going to do. So I didn't want to iron too hot because it's cashmere. So yeah, and I did look up pashminas. Yeah, they were quite pricey, but never mind. So I'm going to trim these little bits off. Adding interfacing like this is not absolutely necessary, but I would say personally, if you've got very thin fabric, that it might be worth doing. So that's why I've done it. I've got quite a few scarves and I think, yeah, they need backing because they're really thin and really flimsy. So I haven't necessarily cut very straight. Don't mind at all. There we go. Don't think they're use nor ornament, so chuck them. So that is gonna go and get stuck down. I think we're probably okay now to give this a crease again. It's been a while. So there we go. So that's nice. So it's quite shiny. You could give it a little bit of a sand if you want to. I'm not going to bother. I think we'll be all right. I have done in the past sanded shiny stuff, but I think we'll be all right. So I'm going to use my Collage glue for this. I've seen people use PVA for this. Fabitac. I do have Fabitac somewhere, but this is very similar, very similar. It's a solvent glue. It's loads cheaper in the UK, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm going all the way around the edges with this. I pay about £20 for a litre of this stuff, about once a year. That's not bad for your glue bill. I know lots of people don't like it because it smells, but I think Fabitac and Beacon 3-in-1 also smells, so I don't smell it anymore. I think that's probably COVID. Not all of my smell has returned, and it's been 3 years since I had COVID. I caught COVID in 2020 before any vaccines, and yeah, I was fared poorly, and yeah, smell hasn't fully returned, which is why I think probably why I don't smell this. There we go. I'm giving it a good old slather on. I could go over it with my silicone spreader, but I'm not gonna. So that's that on there, and I'm gonna take this, and be careful with the placing of this because you won't get a second chance, really. So I am gonna have a little look, see. Oh, absolutely blooming rubbish, Jez. I would have been better off. Do get a second chance. I'd have been better off laying it down this way. There we go. So do as I say, not as I do. Put your fabric down and then put your cover on top. So about there. That's where we're going. About there. I've tried, because that's got that pattern on it. That's what I was lining up. Turn it over. Yeah, that's been okay. Yeah, it's a little bit not straight there on the front, but it'll be fine. Be absolutely fine. I'm not too precious. There we go. So a good little tap down. Now I'm gonna straighten these edges a bit better. Coming down. And I'm gonna cut a little bit of this in because it's a bit too wide. Just so I've got like even Steven all the way around. There we go. I'm going to bin these. Bin. So what I'm going to do is put the corners in. Gola Gustinelli does that, and it's a neat little trick, so you get a nice, your corners covered. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to put a bit of glue there on the corner, glue there on the corner. I'll just do these corners first, because if I did these bottom corners, I'm going to get my sleeve in it, aren't I? So yeah, so fold that in. Push that down. Fold that in. That's quite a lot of glue on there. Quite a lot of glue, but I don't want it to come off. So I've got metal corner doodahs as well, which I might put on, but for the moment, this is what we're doing. And you do exactly the same if you were using paper. So if you could use wallpaper, some nice wrapping paper, some nice scrapbook paper, and I would do exactly what I'm doing now. So obviously that's quite a large space, so when I've used like scrapbook paper in the past, I've had a center spine. I've done it in two sections, so I'd cover these two sides and then I put a bit over the spine. Sometimes it's been fabric over the spine, so you don't have to sort of worry. And I've used 12 by 12 papers and cut it down to 2 lots of 6 inches, because it doesn't matter if you've got a gap here either side of the spine, because remember this was 6 inches, so you'd move it over that way, so it would only cover 5 inches of this, but you'd put something different on the spine, so it's all right. So there's that. That's still quite wet, and then we're gonna go down the edges. I might do these edges up first because they're smaller and easier. So put some glue down the edge here. I know some people use, I'm going to put some on the fabric, some people use double-sided tape for this. I just think they lose the sticky over time, so I don't. I don't use them. There we go. That's that. And I might take a couple of clips, hold them down. I've got my little drawer of clips. Hold that in place, and we can just have a little flip. Yeah, that's nice. So we'll do this side in exactly the same way. And I did think about doing a load of these and having them ready to go for the beginning of 2023, even it's the end of 2023 now, Jez. Don't know where the time's gone. It's probably 2024 now. It's probably like, Happy New Year, everyone. Did you have a good one? Did they set off fireworks in your street? I mean, I don't know yet because I'm filming this. It's not even Christmas. And, but they always set off fireworks in my street. So, yeah. So that's that bit. And then we want to come down this long side. So we'll be removing those clips very, very soon. Our days of going out on New Year's Eve are over for the now. I just can't be doing with all the crowds, to be fair. Oh, I haven't got any of those nice bulldog ones anymore. Let me put one of these on. Don't like them so much. Take that off there. Yeah, we have a quiet night. We have a big New Year's Day. We have a big roast dinner, and my boys come. Well, James didn't last year. He was at friends, but he is this year. He might be going out New Year's Eve. My other boy goes out New Year's Eve with mates. I don't think they go out. I think they just go around, you know, somebody's house. Somebody's house is designated New Year party house. And they just have fun together. I do remember New Year's Day of 2021, him ringing up going, you'd had a Zoom party. He went, I don't really feel like a roast dinner today. Can we do it tomorrow? I feel a little bit rough. I was like, you a little bit hungover? And he said, yeah, I might be. And we went, oh, that's fine. I went, me and your dad aren't feeling that great either. So, you know, happy to wait till the next day. Yeah, we all had COVID. We just didn't know it. It was funny. We'd had these scented candles from Marks and Sparks. Marks and Spencer's, for anybody not familiar, is a department store known for good quality and value. And not value, it's expensive, good quality. And yeah, and I was like, these Marks and Spencer candles are rubbish. I burnt them for the table. I went, I can't smell them. And when Ed was out of the room, I said to Liam, I went, this roast dinner's not up to your dad's usual quality, is it? I said, it's a bit tasteless. Yeah, we all had COVID. We had no idea we had COVID. But, you know, those little hints didn't make us think, we've got COVID. It was funny. It wasn't funny, it was hideous. But there you go. So that is that. So I'm going to leave those to dry, and then meanwhile I'm going to pick out what I'm going to put on the inside. Now you can use paper on the inside, and I'll be going up to the edge of this to cover it, or you could use some more fabric on the inside so it's covered on all sides. And sometimes people stitch around the edge, which I might do. So I might pick out, I've got some like curtain lining fabric, I might use that on it. So we'll just get that ready. So I went to my drawer that's got all my sort of white and cream fabric in, and this was on top. And these are like, they're like thin, I don't know what they were pillar slips. They've got like a hole down one end, and yeah, I got these from a charity shop. I think that'll look nice on the inside. It's nice strong fabric, so I think we'll have this. So I need to just unpick it. So that's it unpicked. So I've got quite a nice big piece there. Of course, it's all folded over at the corners, which I think is a jolly neat idea, and it will make it look nice. But of course, I'm only going to have it on 2 sides ready, so I think that will look much better stuck down on there if it's turned under. So I want to turn under the other ends. I'm going to take these clips off now because I'm sure it's dry and it's hard to work with. So let's just have a little look-see here. That's folding nicely over there. Yeah, like it. I might put something down the spine, but for the moment, that is what we're doing. It feels a little bit flimsy, so there's a bit of me that was wondering about, do I need to put an extra layer of cardboard on it? Which, if this was going to be a cover with lots of paper, I would have a paper layer on the inside and another paper layer on the outside, so which would be not paper, it'd be like scrapbook paper, or it could even be cardstock, so that would make it much thicker. But this is just a really, that's fabric and interlining, bit of glue. I'm going to do fabric and interlining. Well, not interlining, although look, I can see those edges, so that's made me think that I do want to put a bit of card or something along this inside so that that doesn't show through quite so much. Yeah, doing that. So I think I will put some card panels on this. And I might choose some cream card. That will add some stiffness and it will work well with the colour of the fabric I'm using. So I'm going to get some cream card. So I walked away and I was talking and I forgot I haven't got my microphone on. So yeah, that wasn't helpful. So anyway, I've got this 300 GSM cardstock. So that'll go nicely there. Obviously it's not long enough, so we need 2 bits. So I might go up to the middle. We'll just have it joining in the middle, which you won't really notice at all because it's going to get covered up. I'll be there like that, and then I'll have the fabric on like that. Yeah, you're not going to notice that there's a join, and that looks so much better, doesn't it? And then that will give it its bit of stiffness. Yeah, cooking on gas there, Jez, cooking on gas. So let's measure how far we want. So go from the middle there. So go about 1 inch in, 7 inches. Yeah, because that's 6 inches. If we're going in 1 inch in, 7 inches. Let's just double check. Yeah, so cut this off. Here we go, and then we've got some bits of card for other things. Yeah, that'll do. Right, so what I want to do is stick this together to form a single piece. So I want some, I'm going to use my brown picture frame tape for this, I think. I'm going to put it on one side going to get my board so that it's not stuck. Right, so we put the board on like so. So we can follow the line. Follow the line up. Now I'm going to do this to the edge and not have an overlap. Stick that back on there, waste not, want not. There we go. So this is going to be the underside. Pull it off and then take my other sheet and we'll put that right up there, stick down. There we go. That's how we're doing that. So now we've got a single sheet and we'll just cut off that extra bit there because I don't want the brown showing on the top side. That's lovely, that's just lovely. So that'll make it easier for this. So we've got these bits that are already folded over, marvellous. And then we can just cut down there and fold the other bits over, and I might well press them so they've got a nice crease, like this is a nice crease. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and iron again these bits so that it's neat and tidy around here. That needs a little bit of ironing there as well. So that's it, all pressed. So I am going to do this in exactly the same way as I did the front cover. There we go, so I think that's dry enough. So I'm just going to take these clips off. Doesn't matter that you can see the glue through there because it's going to get covered. So that's that. I realised that I didn't kind of squeeze over it, but it is what it is. So, yep. Yeah, we're going to have that as the front, so I might do it that way on. So that just needs gluing in place on there. It's a nice fit, that. So we're doing some more of this. So I'm going to go well and truly over this section. I'm going to go down here a bit. For extra measure. That's the front. That's the back. Stand it up so I can see. And that, I'm not going to bend it yet because it's still drying. So I will put clips around so that it gets a good glue down, particularly around the fabric edges, particularly around these corner bits, and then we'll just leave it to dry. So I will be back to you for the final bit. Okay, so that's been left for a few hours with the clips on. I've just took the clips off, and I think that's pretty well secured. So now we've got to put our creases back in. So I'm going to bring in my ruler and sort of feel where they are. There. This is the tricky bit. That's 6 inches. So that's definitely where the crease is. I can feel it. I don't want to be putting a crease in the wrong place. That feels about right. That's okay. So now to do the other side. 6 inches. Put that down. Grab a little feel. Yeah. That feels about right. And that's it. And now that's what I like to hear. So it now feels like it's got the right sound. So it's much thicker. Now that's a nice journal cover. So that is just ready. It's going to be ready and waiting for a journal to go in there. I can once it's sewn in, I can then decide if I want to put something else over the spine or leave it as is, but that's a decision to be made once the journal's put together. Who would have known that started life as box shreddies? Other cereals are available. But yeah, so that is my first cover of the year, although it's still December. Hope that was useful, and I will be back again with another little beginners video for you. If you've got any requests of what you'd like to see me do, you know, just pop it in the comments and let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Okay, bye for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe and press that bell so you know when I upload a video.